Wild West. D-backs have seen some ups and downs. Now they come to New York town. The Lamb no longer silenced as the D-backs get their third baseman back. And we are set for the first of three. It's the D-backs from New York on Fox Sports Arizona. Good afternoon from Citi Field and welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthiaume, Bob Brenly along the way, the D-backs and the Mets. And this D-backs offense, which has struggled as of late, Bob gets a boost tonight. Jake Lamb back in the starting lineup.
Yeah, you hope this is the igniter that the Diamondbacks offense needs. Jake only played in 4 ball games before the shoulder injury, only a total of 18 at-bats. Not only getting a 30-homer, 100 RBI bat back in the lineup, but also giving Torrey some balance, left, right in that lineup. He's really staggered him tonight.
D-backs have Zach Godley on the mound to open up the series and this road trip. He's up against Mets righty Jacob deGrom, who's working right now on a 19 1/3 inning scoreless streak.
Yeah, perfect 3-0 record on the season. The 1.83 ERA ranks him third best in the National League. This guy's only given up 1 extra base hit in his last 99 batters faced.
Hasn't pitched a lot lately, coming off some elbow problems. Godley and deGrom, the D-backs and the Mets from Citi Field on Fox Sports Arizona.
D-backs baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. By APS. APS works 24/7 to keep you plugged in, powered up, and connected. By Gila River Hotels and Casinos. The card by Gila River Casinos earns you rewards 10 times faster than ever before. Sign up for the card today. And by your Valley Honda dealers, where you'll get more standard features for less money. By Chaz Roberts Air Conditioning and Plumbing, choose Chaz. By Santan Ford, we are Santan Ford. By Arizona Tire Pros, everything rotates around you. By Amstel X-Life, grab the 90 cal 2-car beer with a great taste today. And by Jack in the Box, this season D-backs home runs score free Jumbo Jacks only at Jack in the Box.
Big hat. It's funny. D-backs set to pump you up from Citi Field in New York. We open up this 9-game road trip, first of 3 against the Mets. First pitch is next on Fox Sports Arizona. D-backs in New York. First of 3 against the Mets. It is cool and cloudy here. Not very warm every time we come out east, no matter when the calendar is. It's cloudy and cool, 61 degrees, bundled up just a bit, but very comfortable here. Welcome in, Steve Berthiaume, Bob Renly, Jody Jackson with you. It's the D-backs and the Mets. This has been a get-well place for the D-backs. They've won 11 of their last 13 versus New York. And here's the starting lineup tonight. It's brought to you by your Valley Chevy dealers.
D-backs could use a lot of improvement on those offensive numbers. David Peralta will lead it off once again out in left field. Steven Souza Jr. slides up to the 2 spot in right field. Jake Lamb back in the lineup at third base, batting third. Paul Goldschmidt cleaning up at first base. Daniel Descalso playing second tonight. Ketel Marte slides over to shortstop. Alex Avila doing the catching. Gerard Dyson will be in center field, and right-hander Zach Godley on the mound.
Your Ram truck starter for the Mets, the righty Jacob deGrom, unbeaten in 8 starts this year and a very good 1.83 ERA. Currently riding a 19 1/3 scoreless inning streak, but bothered lately by a hyperextended pitching elbow.
Yeah, his last start against the Phillies 5 days ago had a 1-hour rain delay, a 45-pitch first inning, so they pulled the plug on Jacob deGrom, just coming back off that hyperextended elbow. Threw 45 pitches in the first inning, walked the bases loaded, gave up 20 foul balls, but did not allow a hit or a run.
A look around the diamond at the New York defense is brought to you by E.D. Marshall Jewelers.
Michael Conforto out in center field. Brandon Nimmo in left field. Jay Bruce over in right. It'll be Wilmer Flores and Ahmed Rosario on the left side of the infield, as Drupal Cabrera and former Dodger Adrian Gonzalez over at first base. Devin Mesoraco will be behind the plate today for the right-hander Jacob deGrom.
Vic Carapazza calling the balls and strikes. He's our plate umpire tonight. The crew chief, Jerry Lanes at first base. Greg Gibson is the second base umpire, and Jordan Baker's at third. Time, Bob, for your Valley Honda dealers. Key to the game.
Well, with Jake Lamb in the lineup and the staggered right, left, up and down, this is a new lineup, a new look, and hopefully a new result for the Diamondbacks offensively tonight.
D-backs have won 6 of their last 7 here at Citi Field, trying to turn around a slow month. They are only 5-10 in May, but still holding on to the lead in the National League West. And there is Jake Lamb back in the lineup and batting third here tonight.
Can Jake come out and play?
It's about time. First time we've seen him in about 6 weeks. Good to have him back. David Peralta will lead it off, and we are set to go. The first of 3 The D-backs and the Mets from Flushing, Queens. Fastball at 96, fouled away, and it's 0-1. Peralta hitting .279. He's got 7 homers.
You see a lot of high velocity fastballs from Jacob deGrom, mid to upper 90s with that four-seamer. Has a devastating slider to go along with it. He'll mix in an occasional changeup, occasional curveball, although he has not thrown a curveball in his last 2 starts.
Hard changeup there from deGrom, and it's 1-2 on Peralta. Steven Souza Jr. moves up into the 2-hole tonight. He's on deck. Devin Mesoraco, the former Cincinnati Reds All-Star, back there tonight for the Mets. This is chopped to second base for his Drupal Cabrera. Souza now with Jake Lamb back. Steps up into the 2-hole for Torey Lovullo. There's some nice left right balance up top this way. And the middle of that lineup starting to fill out a bit now that Souza's back and Lamb is back tonight. Fastball is low, 1-0.
deGrom is not a trickster. You're not going to see a lot of off-speed pitches if he's behind in the count. He's going to attack hitters with that fastball. If he falls behind 2-0, 3-1, expect to see a high-velocity fastball. And we know that the Diamondbacks, for the most part, can hit a fastball. It'll be a really good matchup tonight to jumpstart this offense. Seems unusual to say about Jacob deGrom, but that might be what the D-backs are looking for.
Boy, 97 on the corner, down and in. 1-2. Fastball missed away. 98 from deGrom that time, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Right there. Breaking ball for his first strikeout. 2 down.
Boy, everything deGrom throws is hard. That's a slider at 91, right out there on the outside corner, just above the knees. Just a devastating pitch against right-handed hitters.
So welcome back, Jake Lamb. Reinstated from the disabled list today. Only 5 for 18 on the year. He's only played 4 games. It's nice to see him back in there regardless of what he does tonight. Mets have the shift on. There's a fastball down the middle for strike 1. Lamb has been out since April 2nd. Suffered that sprained AC joint in his left shoulder. There's that hard changeup at 90-91 from deGrom. Jake went through several days of full workouts last week at Chase Field. Went to Class A Visalia this week. Played some rehab games there. And he's back in time tonight to start this 9-game 3-city road trip. New York, Milwaukee, and then Oakland. Got him at 98, 2 strikeouts for deGrom. Zach Godley coming up from Citi Field in New York. is Zach Godley. Zach now 4-2. The ERA up over 4. He's winless in his previous 3 starts.
Hey, cleaned it up. He shaved the goatee and the mustache that he's been featuring. He looks like he's about 10 years old now.
Doesn't he?
See a lot of those hard knuckle curveballs from Zach Godley in the game tonight.
The Mets starting lineup is presented by your Valley Chevy dealers.
Lead it off with Brandon Nimmo, the left fielder, has Drupal Cabrera at second base, Wilmer Flores at third, Jay Bruce out in right field, Michael Conforto in center, Adrian Gonzalez down at first base, Devin Mesoraco doing the catching for right-hander Jacob deGrom, with Ahmed Rosario, the shortstop, batting ninth.
Nimmo, the left fielder, leads it off. Mets are down to only 3 outfielders that can physically stand up. They've lost Cespedes and Lagares this week, both on the DL. Lamb in a step or 2 at third. That fastball misses up, and it's 1-0. Nimmo 267. He's homered twice. Another fastball up. Didn't get the call that time from Vic Carapazza. 2 balls and no strikes. Godley behind 3-0. The red hot as Drupal Cabrera is on deck.
There's been a little bit of an issue recently for Zach Godley. Fastball command. Just can't seem to consistently find the corners of that zone.
Well, that's 2 fastballs that were right there in the upper third of the strike zone on which he didn't get the call, and it's a leadoff walk. As Drupal Cabrera has been the Mets' best hitter this year, a big comeback season. He's 5th in the league at .320, and he's got 6 home runs. Nimmo 1 stolen base this year. Cutter's in there, and it's 0-1. The Mets are 7th in the majors in runs per game, about 4 1/4, but most of that was from April when they were playing very well. Lately, they've been a lot like the Diamondbacks. They've had trouble scoring. They've lost a whole bunch of key guys to injuries.
Another pitch that appeared to catch the edge of the strike zone right there. The bottom part, that heavy curve ball that Godley features out there. They do not get the call once again from Vic Carapazza.
Just saw rookie skipper Mickey Callaway. A lot like Torlavella, looking for some offense. There's the Godley curveball, 1-2. Alex Avila back there tonight. A roller the other way. Marte backhands it. Descalso can't glove it at second, and Nimmo moves up to third.
Pretty nice play just to get to that ball for Ketel Marte. Goes way in the hole to his backhand. The jump throw back to the bag. Looked like he had some issues there just trying to find a grip. Hits Descalso in the webbing of the glove and gets away. We'll have to wait and see who they hang with the air right there. Wasn't a great throw.
So Godley in a quick jam. They're on the corners. Nobody out for Wilmer Flores. They score that a fielder's choice and an E4. The error on Daniel Descalso at second base puts Nimmo at third.
It's been correctly ruled now, a fielder's choice and an E4 on Daniel Descalso. Initially they had a hit up on the big board here. I thought maybe they would give Cabrera an infield hit, but I think that's the right call. Fielder's choice, E4.
1-1 is fouled off. Another cutter from Zach Godley. He's ahead 1-2. Flores had a couple of doubles in the Mets loss to Toronto here on Wednesday. He started to pick it up offensively after a slow start. Mets looking for anybody that can hit the ball. Lays off the curveball. 2-2.
This is where you start to think inning management if you're the Diamondbacks and Zach Godley. You got runners at first and third with nobody out facing the middle of the opposing team's lineup. Hey, you'd like to escape with maybe only one run scoring. If you happen to get a punch out or a pop up here and can keep both those runners at their base, maybe you get out of the inning with a double play ball. But just don't let it turn into a crooked number.
Well, Flores this year only 2 for 19 with runners in scoring position. Here's the 2-2 from Godley. Trying to get him to chase that curve. And now it's full 3-2.
That's where the advanced reports and the video scouting comes in. You're not going to see as many teams chase that spike curveball from Zach Godley because the word is out. They've seen the video. They've seen it. The advanced scouts have seen it. They know what his MO is out there on the mound, and disciplined hitters are not going to swing at that pitch when it's down in the zone.
Saw Jay Bruce on deck. 3-2 to Wilmer Flores. That's pulled down the line, but foul and out of play. Well, here's what you were talking about, Bob. We have not seen Zach get the same results from the curveball as of late. Look at the difference here. First 4, last 4. This is all on the curveball. Opponents hitting 175 against that pitch. Now it's been up over 300 the last 4 games.
6 curves so far in the ball game tonight. 2 taken for called strikes and 4 out of the zone.
Bounce to third. Lamb will get the out at first as Nimmo scores and the Mets take the lead. E.D. Marshall Jewelers gives us a look around the diamond at the D-backs defense tonight.
Well, Jake Lamb back in the lineup at third base, gets a ball hit to him in his first inning of defensive work. You knew that was going to happen. Ketel Marte will be at short. Daniel Descalso at second. Paul Goldschmidt over at first base with Alex Avila doing the catching for Zach Godley. The outfield will be Peralta in left, Dyson in center, Souza Jr. in right.
Jay Bruce back in New York, hitting .230 with 3 home runs. Lost the handle on a cutter. It's 1-0. D-backs have 3 defenders on the right side of the infield. Good curveball that time, and it's 1-1. Change up, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Jay Bruce has that unusual thing he does with his left hand. As he gets in the batter's box there, he kind of raises it up right there and then re-grips the bat. Talked about it before. Some of his early games at the major league level, umpires thought he was asking for timeout.
It sure looks like it, doesn't it?
Just one of those things, you know, we see Goldie when he comes to the plate, touch his fingers to the pine tar, check the bottom of the knob, just all things guys do in their pre-swing routine. And part of Jay Bruce's is to raise that left hand up in the air as if he's asking to go to the restroom. Timeout. Right there.
2-2. Long set of signs with Asdrubal Cabrera down there at second base. 1 out, a run is in. Ooh, that one really got Alex. Just got a piece of that cut fastball. Right eye. Man, I'm going to guess there's no pad right there.
No, there is no pad, but he will have a beautiful multicolored bruise there in a couple of days.
Take care of Potts. Going to brush the plate off, give him a minute to collect himself.
I say it all the time. It didn't stop hurting. But we've got to keep playing baseball right here. So just grit your teeth, put it away somewhere, and move forward.
2-2 to Jay Bruce. Backhand save there on the changeup, but it's full 3-2.
Of course, you take one off the right thigh. The next pitch is over in that left-handed batter's box where you've got to put all your weight on that right leg to shift over there and make that block.
Godley has faced 4 Mets batters. He's gone to 3-ball counts on 3 of them. Already over 20 pitches, and he's only got 1 out. Big swing and a miss. Went back to the curveball, and Zach gets his first strikeout.
Good sharp late breaking spike curve that time. Starts right in the middle of the zone, ends up nearly in the dirt, down and in. Good pitch.
Well, the Mets today learn that they have most likely lost their center fielder Juan Lagares for the rest of the year. He'll need foot surgery. And so Michael Conforto is in center tonight. 203 home runs. Godley trying to strand Cabrera at second base with 2 outs. Ketel Marte moves over to the shortstop side of second now, right behind Cabrera. Dunks that into left center. This will get Cabrera home, an RBI single, and it's 2-0 Mets.
That's why the Diamondbacks didn't have the exaggerated pull shift on. Michael Conforto will go the other way if you pitch him away. Got a breaking ball up and out over the plate. Little soft line drive into the gap in left center to drive home another run.
And the familiar walk-up music of Adrian Gonzalez. It's a little odd to see him in Met blue instead of Dodger blue, but here he is. And having a fairly productive start so far. 258 and 5 home runs.
One thing we know about Adrian Gonzalez, you can play deep on the infield. Still going to have plenty of time to throw him out.
he's not fast.
He runs like he's mad at the ground.
And they have a full out overshift on against Gonzalez. Lamb will move over to the first base side of second. There's no one on the left side of the infield. Gonzalez has been hot lately. He's hit safely in 4 straight games and 6 of his last 7.
Had a 2-homer game last Monday against Cincinnati. There's a look at the D-backs defense. Godley behind 2 balls and no strikes. Over the mound, that's Lamb from third. The underhand toss to get the force on Conforto. But the Mets get 2. D-backs trail at 2-0.
Goldschmidt set to lead off this inning, but more on Jake Lamb. He texted Torey Lovullo earlier this week. He had the rehab assignment in Visalia. He said, "I'm ready to go." And there was a lot of excitement in the clubhouse today with Jake Lamb coming back to the team. He wanted that rehab assignment to get back into the flow of games, but yes, there's always that transition to major league pitching, and Jake struck out in his first at-bat. But all of the batters in this offense are hoping to benefit from his bat being in the lineup. Our top of the order also features some news on the starting rotation, as Clay Buchholz will make his Diamondbacks debut on Sunday afternoon. 2-time All-Star, 10 seasons with the Red Sox. Torey Lovullo and Mike Hazen know him well, and he was released from the Royals earlier this year. And of course, the Diamondbacks looking to fill that spot in the rotation, guys. So we'll see Buchholz on Sunday against Syndergaard.
Yeah, Jody, it's been a series of auditions so far for Torey Lovullo in that spot, vacated by the injury to Robbie Ray. And so we'll get a look at Clay Buchholz here Sunday against Noah Syndergaard. Goldie leads off the second against Jacob deGrom. Trying to snap out of his funk. He's 5 for 55 in May. That's fouled back up here, and it's 2-2. Seems odd to see Jacob deGrom without the long flowing hair. Godley's clean shaven. deGrom's all trimmed up. What's going on down there?
I don't know. Guys will be wearing flat tops before we know it. Need butch wax.
Eating what?
Butch wax. That's the stuff they used to put on your hair to make it stand up.
Well, that's 3 consecutive strikeouts for deGrom. 1 down to the second.
I think they call it product nowadays.
Ah, there you
it
go.
Used to be called butch wax.
Pomade or something.
Yeah. Dapper Dan.
I'm a Dapper Dan man. Daniel Descalso in there at second base tonight. Now that Jake Lamb is back at third, Nick Ahmed gets the night off. Marte at shortstop. Boy, deGrom is just pumping fastballs in there at 97, 98. Here it is, hit it.
And it seems effortless for deGrom. Some guys just have that smooth mechanical delivery, and then the ball just explodes out of his hand. That was a 92-mile-an-hour slider down and in.
Change ups at 91 and 92, sliders at 92, fastballs at 98. This is popped up to second. Here comes Cabrera on the infield grass. 2 outs for Marte. Cattell has hit safely in 7 of his last 8 games, making nice progress with the bat.
Always got to check the shoes for Ketel Marte. He's got quite the shoe game, going with the road grays tonight.
Nice clean look. 226 and a home run. First pitch fastball at 97, and it's 0-1. Exactly how deep Jacob deGrom can pitch in this game tonight is a mystery even to the Mets, because he hasn't had a real start in 3 weeks. April 27th because of the elbow trouble. He's only pitched 5 innings in May. So they're not sure exactly what they're going to get here tonight. But so far so good. He's ahead of Marte 1-2. This is a 97 upstairs.
Jacob deGrom from DeLand, Florida, about a half hour or so inland from Daytona Beach, Florida. And he's not the most famous baseball player to come from DeLand, Florida. That would be
Chipper Jones.
Full count, 3-2. deGrom out of Stetson University, a 9th round pick by the Mets in 2010. This is driven to right center field. Jay Bruce on the run, and he's got it just shy of the warning track. 6 up, 6 down for Jacob deGrom, who holds a 2-0 lead. Hey, coming up Tuesday, the season premiere of D-backs Driven In, as we tag along with Jody and the NL Manager of the Year, Torey Lovullo, in a brand new Shelby Mustang. That's a pretty nice ride. Jody does the driving. They're in a beautiful Sanderson Ford Mustang. Don't miss D-backs Driven In, brought to you by Sanderson Ford, Tuesday after the D-backs and the Brewers right here on Fox Sports Arizona. Devin Mesoraco leads off the New York second against Zach Godley. Gets the call there from Vic Carapazza, that cutter just outside the zone. Mesoraco, 214 and 3 homers. Former all-star catcher in Cincinnati. His career has just been shattered by injuries, one after the other. Acquired for pitcher Matt Harvey last week, and he's already homered twice in just 5 games as a Met. Curveball missed. It's 2 balls and 1 strike.
dangerous way to approach any opposing lineup, falling behind in the count to nearly every hitter.
4 3-ball counts for Godley through the first 7 hitters, and that's his second walk. And the pitcher DeGrom, who bats 8th for Mickey Callaway, is the hitter.
Yeah, normally you would expect a bunt right here from Jacob DeGrom, but with a 2-run lead in the game, Mickey Callaway may just decide to turn him loose. He's a pretty good hitter.
Lamb creeping in from third. DeGrom squares, pulls back, and takes ball 1.
They peeled down to third base, and Jordan Baker looked like he gave the right fist that he attempted to bunt that ball.
Yeah, now they've changed it to a strike up on the scoreboard here.
It looked like he pulled back awfully late that time, but Jordan Baker right on top of him.
And he gets it down. Lamb goes to second, high throw. Marte keeps a foot on the bag, and they get the force on Mesoraco.
Too bad that throw was a little bit high. I think they might have had a chance for a double play there if Marte gets a throw on the chest, but he has to make sure he's on that bag as Mesoraco comes sliding in. They just get the force at second.
So the pitcher DeGrom is at first, 1 out, and here's the shortstop Ahmed Rosario. That fastball's right there, down and away, 0-1.
Very nearly had an Ahmed matchup at shortstop today.
We can only dream. I'm sure we'll get one later this week.
Yeah.
2 more games to go here. Nick getting the night off tonight. High chopper to Marte. Descalso gets 1, and they won't be able to get Rosario.
Jacob DeGrom went into second base pretty hard that time. I mean, clean straight into the base, but he wanted to make sure that that double play was not turned. And most pitchers on a play like that will just peel off toward right field and just try to get out of the way.
Probably the smarter bet. The left fielder Nimmo walked and scored his first time. Second time through the order now for Godley. Nimmo's hit safely in 3 straight games. He homered here Wednesday in their loss to the Blue Jays. Right through the wickets of Ruben Amaro Jr., the first base coach here for Mickey Callaway.
Third base coach looks familiar for some reason.
Shirley Sherlock.
Glenn Sherlock coaching over at third. Got a chance to catch up with him earlier today.
He's the best. One and one. Good curveball that time, and it's a ball and 2 strikes.
It's funny. I saw Sherles from across the field. He was in the first base dugout. I was in the third base dugout. We met behind home plate. First words out of his mouth. What were your signs again? What were your signs to the catcher for the throwovers and pitch outs and step offs and all that stuff? Because Sherles kind of adopted the same signs that I used, and he was trying to figure out, how do I put nothing on? If I don't want him to do anything, what do I do?
Can't you just stand there?
Huh?
Can't you just stand there?
You can, but then the other team sees, well, they didn't put anything on at all.
Oh, I guess.
Yeah, let's run. So I had to give him a little tutorial on the old signs, and I think he's still confused.
2 and 2.
They weren't that tough.
Rosario takes off. Swing and a miss. Ahmed gets his second strikeout as Nimmo goes down swinging. D-backs trail at 2-0. face these Mets at Chase Field next month, June 14th through the 17th. And you can play catch on the field before the Father's Day game on the 17th with a special event package. But you got to move. Limited spaces remain. Visit dbacks.com/dad and you can play catch down on the field on Father's Day. Alex 125 and 2 home runs. Jacob deGrom so far has retired all 6 he's faced. He's got 3 strikeouts, and Avila bangs that one into right field. A leadoff single in the 3rd.
Alex Avila doing his homework over there on the bench, watching the way deGrom attacked the Diamondbacks hitters in front of him in the lineup, and decided he's not going to waste any time. Hit that first fastball close to the strike zone.
Center fielder tonight, Jarrod Dyson. Flores coming in from 3rd on the grass. Fastball is high. It's 1-0. deGrom already with 3 strikeouts. Last month he struck out a dozen Washington Nationals and followed that with a 10 strikeout game in Atlanta, and then 7 1/3 shutout innings in a win at San Diego. That's how he closed April. He was just dominant, but he's barely pitched here in May. Dyson gets it down, and Flores lets it roll foul. It was May 2nd against the Braves here at Citi Field when deGrom hyperextended his right elbow and was pulled after only 4 innings. Went on the DL briefly and came back to start Mother's Day at Philadelphia, but as Bob mentioned, he labored through a somewhat remarkable 45 pitch first inning and was taken out after only 1 inning. So it's been 3 full weeks since he's made a real start here, and we'll see how long he can go tonight. $20 foul balls against him in that 45 pitch first inning. That's remarkable.
Yeah. That's Robbie Ray 2017 vintage.
Just what you want from a guy coming off the DL with an elbow problem.
Well, you wouldn't know he hasn't pitched as much as he would like in this month. First 8 hitters of the ball game, he's had 5 1-2 counts, 1 0-2 count, 1 2-2 count. That's why Alex Avila went to the plate and said, I'm not going to give him a chance to jump ahead with a 2-strike count. I'm going to swing at the first fastball I see.
32 pitches, 22 strikes. 1-2 on Dyson. It's a high chopper, slow to second. Cabrera shovel pass, and they move Avila along. Here's Zach Godley. Boy, Zach looks like a baby without the facial hair, doesn't he?
He really does look a lot young. I wonder what prompted that. Usually there's a reason.
I think it was the Saturday Night Live. I think he really committed to his character for the Saturday Night Live flight dress up. He was part of the group that went as the Bears, those Bears guys.
I'll take that guy.
'96 up and in. 0-2. Well, those guys had mustaches. He could have just kept something.
Yeah.
'97 just off the plate. Popped up first base side for Adrian Gonzalez. take a look at the Bears.
Top Bears. Yeah, it kind of came off in stages. The goatee and the little beard he had came off first, and then the mustache apparently came off last night or this morning.
Yeah, these guys all had their costumes ordered on the internet. Everybody dressed up as Saturday Night Live folks. David Peralta. Boy, Mesoraco quick to get back there and save that changeup in the dirt. Keeps Avila at second base with 2 outs.
We talk about this backhand block all the time. If it's that far over in the batter's box, you just have to make like an infielder. Try to make sure you get some leather on it, knock it down somehow. You don't really have enough time to shift your entire body over there and square up and keep the ball in front.
Another hard changeup missed. It's 2-0.
Almost looked like a cross up there. I'm not sure what happened. Mesoraco really received that pitch in an odd fashion and then kind of hopped up out of his crouch before throwing the ball back to the mound. It looked like he got crossed up.
And it looked like for a moment he was going to go out to the mound and then remembered, oh, I got to only do that if absolutely necessary. 2-0 on Peralta now. 97 at the bottom of the zone. 2 balls and 1 strike. A little low for David's taste that time. Here's that hard slider, and it's 2-2. Souza would be next.
With that high velocity fastball and the count in DeGrom's favor, the left fielder Brandon Nimmo has slid way over close to the foul line in left field. They don't think David Peralta is going to pull that high velocity fastball.
Got one right there. Trying to get this offense going. They have won just once in their last 8 games. And they've scored a total of just 16 runs in those 8 games. Avila's got the only hit so far tonight, a leadoff single here in the 3rd. .98, Mesoraco can't hang on. David this year is hitting .435 with runners in scoring position. Looking for a 2-out knock. DeGrom gets his 4th strikeout. He strands Avila. It stays 2-0 New York.
Diamondbacks.
Oh, man.
The girls go nuts for him.
We just kind of listen to the girl scream, and he tries not to crack a smile.
Great smile. Very white teeth.
I had just heard that he has a new dental commercial.
I mean, with a grill like that, you got to take advantage of it for sure.
Jake Lamb, Jake Bieber, good to have him back. Nice grill. As Drupal Cabrera leads off the Met third against Zach Godley. Popped up, foul ground, third base side. Lamb won't get there.
Yeah, a lot of room in foul territory between the bases for sure, but as you get about halfway down the right and left field line, the stands come all the way out to the foul line. Jake had a long way to go to get to that one.
Don't hurt those teeth. He almost ran into Glenn Sherlock that time. Cabrera reached on a fielder's choice and scored a run his first time up. Mets with 2 in the first against Godley. Waves at that one. Good change up there, and it's 0-2. Zach so far has walked 2, struck out 2.
Zach Godley's going to get over there on any ground ball to the right side. He's falling off the mound that way anyhow. We see him sprint off the mound to the first base side after completing his pitch a lot.
And there's another good example. That's sort of the way Zach has looked the last few starts. He was nearly unhittable his first 2 outings this year. He beat the Dodgers and the Giants, but since then he's had trouble finding consistent command, it seems like. 1-2. Godley has allowed at least 4 earned runs 4 times in his last 6 starts. Previous start was Sunday against Washington, gave up 3 home runs in that game. Flores on deck. Missed badly with a changeup there, and it's full 3-2.
Just over his last 3 or 4 starts, it looks like Zach Godley the entire game is just struggling to find a good release ball. He'll make a couple of good pitches, throw that cutter on the outside corner to a righty, or drop a curveball in there in the middle of the zone to steal a strike, and then he'll miss the zone badly on the next 2 or 3 deliveries.
Pull to the first base side. Godley gets over there. 1 down in the bottom of the 3rd.
Hey fans, the day after every D-backs win, get 50% off all pizzas at regular menu price using promo code DBACKS50 at papajohns.com.
You hear Wilmer Flores, his walk-up music is the Friends theme song. That's how he learned to speak English when he first got to the country and growing up. In his native Venezuela, he would watch Friends reruns.
Really?
That's how we learned the language.
How you doing?
So he stuck with that consistently throughout his big league career. Either that or he was really into the whole Ross and Rachel thing, the on and off again. Like we all were, I guess. Zach at 50 pitches, only 26 for strikes. Behind on Flores, 2-0. This is in with a fastball, and it's another 3-ball count. Jay Bruce on deck. 6 3-ball counts so far for Zach Godley. Just caught a seam of the inside corner. That's his third walk. Jay Bruce, a strikeout victim, his first time up. Got a 3-year, $39 million free agent contract to return to the Mets, a team for which he played a half season each of the previous 2 years. He's sort of been back and forth as a Met here. D-backs will put the shift on. Jake Lamb, the third baseman, standing almost on the right field line. Actually Descalso near the bag, and Lamb way over there where the second baseman would be. First pitch curveballs, a strike, 0-1.
Ideally, you get Jay Bruce to hit the ball on the ground to the right side. Could be an unusual looking attempted double play with Jake Lamb, the third baseman, playing in the hole between first and second. Daniel Descalso, the second baseman, close to the bag. If they happen to hit it to the right side, Ketel Marte obviously would be the guy that covered the bag at second, but could be an odd throw for Jake Lamb from that angle.
Swing and a miss, and Godley gets his third strikeout. Second time today he's got Jay Bruce.
It's a change up. You can see that lack of spin on the ball right there. That causes it to sink as it gets into the hitting zone, and Jay Bruce swings right over the top.
Michael Conforto, his first time up tonight, knocked an RBI single into left center field. You might recall that Michael Conforto's season ended against the D-backs last August when he took a violent swing and dislocated his left shoulder. Spent most of the winter trying to come back and recover. An injury that lingered into the first week of the season. And he homered in his first game back. That was April 5th in Washington. Mets have just been blasted by injuries. They need healthy bodies. Cespedes on the DL with a strained right hip flexor. Juan Lagares they think will miss the year now with foot surgery. That's just out of the reach of Lamb at third, into left. Conforto's 2 for 2.
A couple of opposite field base hits may pull the Diamondbacks out of that pull shift on Conforto. Not an exaggerated pull shift, but he's had 2 base hits, both coming to the opposite field.
Adrian Gonzalez, 2 on and 2 out. Marte, the shortstop, almost right behind the second base bag. Lamb near the bag at third. Descalso well back of the outfield grass, the second baseman tonight. Godley once again has had traffic around him on the bases all night long. That's been a recurring theme for Zach lately. Very few clean innings like we saw earlier this year. Tied him up that time. A swing and a miss. Godley gets his 4th strikeout. Strands 2. It stays 2-0 Mets. Fans, if you can't watch the games on TV, stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. It's brought to you locally by your Valley Honda dealer. Download the free app, take Fox Sports Arizona, and the D-backs with you wherever you go. Steven Souza Jr., Jake Lamb, Paul Goldschmidt, 2, 3, and 4 due up here against Mets right-hander Jacob deGrom, who has so far struck out 4, given up only 1 hit and Avila single.
And has thrown exactly 45 pitches right now, as many as he threw in 1 inning in his last outing.
Souza struck out looking his first time. That fastball just a bit off the plate. Slider. You don't see a lot of 91, 92 mile an hour sliders, but you do from this guy. This is lifted high in the air along the right field line, drifting into the seats and out of play. 1-2.
Hey fans, a D-backs home run tonight means a free jumbo jack tomorrow at participating Jack in the Box locations with the purchase of a large drink.
Souza in the 2-hole now that Jake Lamb is back. Lamb on deck. So with Descalso batting 5th, that gives you a nice left right left combo 1 through 5.
At least it gives Torrey the option. And the bottom of the order, you got the switch hitting Marte, Alex Avila from the left side, Gerard Dyson from the left side. Of course, the only negative is you got a bench full of right-handed hitters tonight.
Two and 2. Got him. 5 strikeouts for deGrom. He sit down 4 in a row.
Looked to be a changeup with a lot of late movement. Steven Souza swings through it and then immediately turns around to ask the home plate umpire, was that a strike, and what was that?
50 pitches, 35 strikes. Here's Lamb, who struck out in his first at bat. Back for the first time since April 2nd. Mets have the shift on. There's another hard slider right at the knees, 0-1. Elevates a fastball. Went upstairs again. 3 consecutive strikeouts for DeGrom. That's 6 for the ball game.
Yeah, first pitch to Jake Lamb, a little slider on that outside corner, and then just high velocity fastballs after that. Get a quick look, our nationwide vision eye on the game. That was the first pitch slider, and then 2 elevated fastballs in the upper 90s. Tough way to ease back into the game.
We were worried about Jake's timing. That's there's only one way to get your timing back, and that's to play in major league games, regardless of however long you play in the Cal League. First pitch to Goldie was a ball. Now it's 2-0.
Yeah, I'd venture to guess that Jake didn't see anybody throwing 97 with a 92-mile-an-hour slider down in Visalia.
If they were down there, someone needs to contact the scouting department right away.
That's the first 2-0 count in the game for Jacob deGrom, and he just rears back and gets back into the count with a fastball again.
Lifts this one in the air along the right field line, drifting out of play. This guy, when he's healthy, is one of the best. 2014 National League Rookie of the Year, won 14 games, made an all-star appearance the following season. Last year, 15-10, 5th in the majors in strikeouts. Jacob deGrom just got a piece of that fastball.
We see a lot of teams play the outfield the opposite way for Goldie, and center fielder Michael Conforto a few steps over into the gap in right center.
Got him. deGrom strikes out the side in the 4th. He's punched out 4 in a row. 2-0 New York. City Field. This summer, the World Cup is coming to Fox and FS1. Every match live, over 300 hours of coverage. The world's biggest sporting event begins June 14th on Fox and FS1. So far through 4 innings, Jacob deGrom has given up 1 base hit. He's got 7 strikeouts. Well, Zach Godley has labored. Trails at 2-0, and the Mets catcher Devin Mesoraco, who walked his first time up, leads off the Met 4th. Mesoraco acquired from Cincinnati last week for pitcher Matt Harvey.
You can see Devin Mesoraco really goes into a crouch as Godley gets ready to deliver the ball. Watch his helmet on the backstop there. Watch how far below the backstop he dips his head right there. That's usually something hitting coaches don't like to see. You don't want your head to move too much in your preparation to attack that pitch.
You just don't see the ball as well?
Well, it kind of changes your perspective. You're kind of looking down at the pitcher's release point and crouch down. Now you're looking up at the release point.
Peralta calls off Dyson. The pitcher Jacob deGrom batting 8th in the lineup tonight for Mickey Callaway. First out in the air tonight against Zach Godley. Everything else had either been a strikeout or on the ground. There's the strike.
Well, that's a good sign. Keeping it on the ground. Ground balls usually don't leave the ballpark.
Zach has walked 3, struck out 4 so far.
Good timing on that curveball right there on the 0-1 pitch. deGrom was looking to bunt for a base hit and instead pulled the bat back, dropped it right in there for a called strike. Trying to go right back to it again.
Dropped it in there. 5 strikeouts for Godley, 2 down in the 4th.
I'd really like a quick pitch inning here to kind of even out that long first inning for Zach Godley.
Ahmed Rosario, the shortstop. Prize prospect in the Mets system, came up to the big leagues for the first time last year as a 21-year-old. In fact, when Rosario was first called up last August, he was rated as the number 2 prospect in all of baseball. He was having a big year at AAA Las Vegas, hitting nearly .330 when he was called up. And he's the everyday shortstop at the age of 22. Descalso is under it, and Godley gets that quick 4th inning. But the D-backs trail the Mets 2-0. Remember, fans, you can watch every out-of-market regular season game live or on demand at home, in the office, or on the go with MLB.tv. It includes MLB at Bat Premium that lets you watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices,
Visit MLB.tv for details. Daniel Descalso leads off the 5th against Jacob deGrom, who has struck out the last 4 Diamondback batters he's faced. He's got 7 strikeouts in the ballgame. And all 7 strikeouts for deGrom coming through the first 4 batters in the Diamondbacks order. He's gotten Peralta once, Souza, Lamb, and Goldie twice each.
Ooh. Well, deGrom has been about as efficient as you can possibly imagine. He's had 1 3-ball count in this game. That was to Ketel Marte before he flied out to right field. Alex Avila only saw 1 pitch in his at bat.
That one skips off the mound and goes into center. A leadoff single for Descalso. Second hit for the D-backs against deGrom.
Every other batter for the Diamondbacks has had a 2-strike count. 3-0-2 counts, 6-1-2 counts, and 3-2-2 counts for deGrom.
Ketel Marte hit the ball hard his first time up. He lined out to deep right center field on a ball that Jay Bruce ran down just shy of the bullpen out there. Ketel continues to hit the ball hard as of late. Slider misses up, and it's 1-0. .96 right at the knees. Lays off a high fastball. 2 balls and 1 strike. D-backs have won 11 of their last 13 games against the Mets, and 6 of their last 7 here at Citi Field, hoping to get their luck turned around here in this 3-game weekend series to start a long road trip. That one caught the outside edge, and it's 2-2.
Yeah, big reason for that 11-2 advantage that the Diamondbacks have over the Mets the last couple of years. They've stolen 26 bases against the Mets. The Mets have stolen 2 against the Diamondbacks. Not so sure this is a running situation right here. But when you've got a pitcher on the mound like deGrom, it's apparent early on he's got everything working tonight. Sometimes you've got to push the envelope a little bit. You get a runner on, maybe play some hit and run. Just try to bump the ball into play somewhere and find a hole.
Especially the way the offense has been going as of late. D-backs have scored more than 4 runs only twice in their last 18 games. Full count, 3-2. Got him on a fastball in. 8 strikeouts for deGrom.
Hey fans, anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free crunchy beef tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
He struck out 5 of the last 6. Here's Avila, who singled on the first pitch he saw to lead off the 3rd. Mets have 3 infielders on the right side. Tried to check his swing on that breaking ball.
He was going to ambush Jacob deGrom again on that first pitch. Instead, he gets the changeup that time.
Flores all by himself midway between 2nd and 3rd.
Right out of the catcher's mitt that time. Checked his swing, but the barrel of the bat dropped down into the flight of the ball. And that'll be a strike. Ball up.
Got him. Make it 9 strikeouts for DeGrom through 4 2/3.
Some people like to call this country hardball. You got a guy on the mound that has a great fastball. He has a lot of confidence in that pitch, and facing an offense that's had trouble putting anything in play lately.
Dyson grounded out his first time up. Descalso at first and 2 outs. Flores will come in from third base. Fastball foul back, and it's 0-1.
I see Dyson shaking out his right hand there after trying to check his swing on that high fastball. Sometimes when you try to stop that bat so quickly, everything's not exactly where it's supposed to be in your hand when you check that swing.
0-2. Foul ground. Mesoraco won't get there. There's a pretty fair amount of foul ground here in this ballpark.
If Dyson hits that same ball, no strikes or 1 strike, it's probably caught by the third baseman. But with 2 strikes, he's moved over in the hole between third and short, and no chance for Flores to get to that little pop-up.
Still 0-2. Dyson knocks it into right field. Descalso moves up. Third hit for the D-backs tonight. And here comes Godley.
Yeah, Dyson finds a way to get on top of that high velocity fastball and bang it into right field for his first knock of the game.
2 on and 2 out for the pitcher. I know with the way you pay attention to bats that you're going to like Godley's stick up there.
Yeah, nice piece of furniture. Kind of got the Goldie approach going, the bat pointed down his back. That's where the similarity ends.
He's got a pretty bat, though.
He sure does.
It's D-backs colors, sort of. Looks like Steven Souza Jr. up there.
Yeah, a little bit.
Got the slider, and it's 1-2. That's 10 strikeouts through 5 innings for Jacob DeGrom. The Mets lead the D-backs 2-0.
here at Citi Field in the Big Apple. Time to take a look at this day in baseball history, brought to you by Geico. We flash back to 2004. Turner Field in Atlanta. Randy Johnson at the age of 40 records a perfect game.
Here's Robbie Hammock jumping up and down.
Yeah, Randy said he didn't quite get caught up in the moment until he saw Robbie Hammock pogoing out there to the mound after the final pitch of that perfect game.
And there's the famous snub of Todd Walsh walking off the mound.
Yeah, that obviously a perfect game is going to trump just about anything else on this day in baseball history. But Gonzo gets short-sheeted every time. He got a knock on this day in 1999 to run his hitting streak to 30 games.
Wow. Well, it's been a labor certainly for Zach Godley. Gave up 2 runs in the first inning. But he's coming off a fairly easy 4th, so hopefully settling in here. He's retired 4 in a row, and Brandon Nimmo, the leadoff man, leads off the Met 5th. Nimmo has walked, struck out, he scored a run. I'm stunned that you missed the real headline today.
What's that?
It is National Pizza Party Day.
Every day's National Pizza Party
No,
Day.
but this is like certified.
Oh, okay.
Documented.
All right. Well, then I won't feel bad when I order one up tonight.
Every day's a pizza party day for you.
Absolutely.
And you're here in New York on Pizza Party Day. Do you have a New York favorite?
Any of the Rays, original Rays, famous Rays, they're all pretty good.
There's one on every block.
Yeah. Like Starbucks.
1-1. This one stays fair for Godley. Takes it himself. 1 down in the 5th. As Drupal Cabrera, 316 on the year. He's 0 for 2 tonight. Cabrera hit exactly 280 in each of his first 2 years with New York. He's off to a very good start this year. Came into the game 5th in the league in hitting. Now in his 3rd season with the Mets. That's another one where Godley was just straight running off the side of the mound. Change up too far off, and it's 1-1. Cabrera's a switch hitter. He's almost 330 left-handed this year. That's where most of his power comes from. This one up in the air to left center field. Peralta calling off Dyson. Right under the airplanes. 2 outs.
Now, depending on the takeoff and landing pattern, some days it gets really loud here at Citi Field. Other days not quite so bad.
This feels loudish. It's been pretty frequent all day here today. 80 pitches, 47 strikes for Godley. Here's Flores. It's a fly ball to right field. Drifting near the line is Souza. Tries to make a sliding grab and foul ground, and hopefully he's okay. Slides into that wall. There's no foul ground out there in the outfield.
It's kind of tough to tell. The wind appears to be blowing straight in from right field. Steven Souza kind of gliding on that ball over there in foul territory, and has to really turn it on at the very end and just misses that ball as it slides into the side wall out there. I think the wind had a lot to do with that.
Yeah, you get into the corners here in this ballpark and you disappear from view. Woo. 1-1 is right there. Godley looking for his second consecutive 1-2-3 inning. Jay Bruce has struck out twice so far. He would be next. 2-2 on Wilmer Flores, the third baseman tonight. That is hit hard and by Lamb at third down the line. Flores pulls up with a stand-up double.
All right, Flores scalds that ball right down the third baseline. Tailing fastball just didn't get in there far enough. Flores is able to barrel it down that third base line for a 2-out double. Just out of the reach of Jake Lamb.
Yeah, that ball was smoked. Just the third hit for the Mets tonight. They are 1 for 4 with runners in scoring position. Bruce has struck out twice. They've got him to chase on some curveballs so far. Bruce has always been a guy that strikes out a lot. A look at the infield defense. Lamb all by himself on the left side. Bruce this year hitting almost .350 with runners in scoring position. D-backs trail it 2-0, 2 outs here in the fifth. Avila has to slide out there. Second time in this at bat that Godley has almost spiked a changeup down there.
The best thing I can say about that is if you're going to miss in your favor. You don't want to throw an off-speed pitch right in the middle of the strike zone to a guy that could hit it out of the ballpark.
Curveball low, and it's 3-1. Conforto, the on-deck man. He's 2 for 2. .90 pitches, 52 strikes. 2 outs, 3-2 on Jay Bruce.
Tried to get him to bite on that curveball. This time he lays off. That's the 4th walk issued by Godley. And Conforto will hit with 2 on and 2 out.
This didn't look like Zach was too willing to give him anything good to hit right there with a base open. Like Butcher on his way out to the mound. Have a quick meeting with his pitcher. And Flores has been out there long enough at second base. I would imagine the Diamondbacks will switch up their signs right here, just in case.
It's been a real struggle for Zach Godley as of late when you compare his results this year to last year. He's allowing more hits per 9 innings. The walks are up, the strikeouts are down. And opponents hit just over 220 against Zach last year. This year that number is almost 270. So it's been a struggle here as of late.
I think a lot of it has to do with falling behind in the counts. If you're ahead in the count, the opposing hitters are going to be a little more defensive. They're going to be a little more willing to swing the bat at borderline pitches. But when you're behind 2-0, 3-1, you don't have that luxury. You have to throw strikes in those situations.
Flores at second, Bruce at first, and 2 outs. Conforto has singled twice. He's knocked in a run. Got to be careful here. He's homered twice in his last 6 games. Michael Conforto. That fastball almost got to the backstop. 1-1.
So many of the pitches that he misses the zone with are what I call non-competitive pitches. And nobody's going to swing at that. It's not even remotely close to the strike zone. I just wonder how his release point can be so inconsistent that he paints the corners with a couple of pitches and then misses the zone by 4 feet on the next one.
Conforto knocks that into right field. They'll wave Flores home. Bruce digging for third, and it's 3-0 Mets. Michael Conforto 3 for 3. He's knocked in 2.
That's a curveball working its way down in the zone. Conforto stays on it well, lines it into right field.
A double, a walk, and an RBI single, all with 2 outs. And here's Adrian Gonzalez. Off the glove of Godley. Descalso collects it. And they get Gonzalez. But the Mets add a run. We head to the 6th in New York. The D-backs trail it 3-0.
scoreboard here, down by 3. I walked into the clubhouse earlier today. David Peralta was looking through a box of bats, a shipment that had come in to Chase and, of course, shipped here to New York, and he was talking to them. He's got the Victus axe handle bats. He said, if I show the bats some love, it'll show me back some love. Guys, 0 for 8 for the top of the order with 7 strikeouts, and you know that they're trying to get out of this funk right now. But I don't know. Bob, what do you think about talking to the bats and seeing, you know, just showing them some love and picking the right one, and then you get some love back in the form of a hit?
See, I used to go the other way, Jody. I'd tell him, if you don't get me any hits, I'm going to break you on purpose.
Now that's tough love right there.
Oh, I've seen a lot of crazy things with guys and their bats. You mentioned getting a new box of bats. Jeffrey Leonard used to go through a dozen bats and pick 1 or 2 that would be his XX gamers, and the rest of them were batting practice bats. Some guys look for narrow grain, other guys like wide grain. I don't think it's as much of a factor now with the maple bats as it used to be when everybody used the ash.
Well, they've only had 3 hits against Jacob deGrom, all singles. Steven Souza Jr. on deck. deGrom has 10 strikeouts. His 3rd double-digit strikeout game this year and the 24th of his career.
You saw those bats lined up over in the on-deck circle. Those are the first 3 scheduled hitters in the inning. They're backup bats, just in case they would happen to break a bat while they're up there at the plate. The bat boy has been instructed to keep an extra bat for the first 3 hitters right there. When Peralta gets on base or is retired, Peralta's bat will go back in the rack, and the next one will come out of the rack. Just an effort to speed the game up a little bit rather than have guys walk all the way back to the bat rack.
Full count, 3-2. That's 11 strikeouts for deGrom. Second time he's got Peralta tonight.
Now David tries to influence Vic Carapazza behind the plate by dropping his bat and taking off his ankle guard, but that one right there on the outside corner, a called strike 3.
deGrom has struck out 8 of the last 10 batters he's faced. He's got Souza twice tonight. And Souza jumps on the first pitch and rolls it into center. A 1-out single. Jake Lamb back from the DL. He struck out twice so far. Jake's been out since April 2nd with that sprained left shoulder.
And so much for a soft landing. Facing Jacob deGrom right out of the chute.
Yeah, you go from some rehab at bats at Lancaster to Jacob deGrom at Citi Field. That just in the span of a couple of days. But Jake, pain-free, feels good. Belts that one fair down the right field line. It rolls all the way to the corner. Souza will stop at third. No, he's going to run through the side. And Lamb is out at third as Souza comes across. Boy, Tony Perez-Chica had a big stop sign up there. Both hands up in the air, and Souza almost waited too late to stop. He had to come on in.
He ran through the sign and then tried to stop halfway down the third baseline. Fortunately, the Mets cut that ball off and went immediately to third base to get Jake Lamb. Goes down and gets that changeup, rips it down the right field line. Yeah, Souza had a full head of steam coming into third base. He looks up to Tony Perez-Chica and then put his head down. Didn't see Tony throw up that late stop sign.
deGrom now at 90 pitches. D-backs on the board. Here's Goldie, who struck out twice. Double and an RBI for Lamb. 9.35 on the putout.
Jacob deGrom's spot is due up second in the bottom half of this inning. They weren't sure how long he'd be able to go tonight, having worked only 5 innings all month long. He gets Goldie for the 3rd time. 12 strikeouts through 6 for Jacob deGrom. D-backs trailing 3-1. D-backs on the board. They trail the Mets 3-1. What's next brought to you by CenturyLink. Game 2 of this 3-game series. Here tomorrow, Patrick Corbin, the native New Yorker, New York State, against left-hander Steven Matz. D-backs live pregame show comes your way 3:30. First pitch 4:10 on Fox Sports Arizona. Chris Owings has replaced Steven Souza Jr. in right field. Souza was kind of limping around when he singled with 1 out in the 6th inning, came around to score the Lamb double. So we'll try and find out what's wrong with Souza. So Owings is in right, and here's the catcher, Mesoraco.
Yeah, he slid into the wall out there in right field, chasing that foul ball, and then that kind of an odd stop over there at third base after rounding the bag may have aggravated whatever he did out in right field.
Jacob deGrom is up next. He bats 8th for Mickey Callaway. He's out there in the on-deck circle. 2-1 on Devin Mesoraco. He's walked and flied out. There's a fly ball drifting over to right center field is Gerard Dyson. And deGrom will hit. Godley at 100 pitches. There is action in the D-back bullpen out there behind the right fielder Owings.
With all the left-handed bats in this Mets lineup tonight, it figures to be a left-hander. Looks like Andrew Chafin throwing for the Diamondbacks right now.
100 pitches, 58 strikes for Godley. Avila takes another one, and it's 0-1. There is Andrew Chafin. Phone ringing for Mike Fetters back there.
Now, the Mets got a pitcher up in the bullpen as well when this inning started, just playing some catch down there, probably waiting to see how the inning unfolded and whether or not the Mets were going to hit for DeGrom. But whomever it is just standing on the mound out there in the Mets bullpen, not throwing any pitches right now.
Missed with a couple of curveballs, and it's 2-2. Right there. Strikeout number 6 for Godley, 2 down. Ahmed Rosario, the shortstop.
He may be a youngster, but Rosario knows his job right here. Take as much time as you possibly can before you get in that batter's box to give DeGrom an opportunity to get back in the dugout, get his jacket on, get a drink of water, sit down for a minute or two before he has to go back out to the mound.
Pops this one up. Goldie underneath it. Into foul ground. 1, 2, 3, 6 for Zach Godley. 7th inning on the way. D-backs down 3-1. At 3-1. Memorial Day just a few days away. You can stay cool inside air-conditioned Chase Field as the D-backs host the Reds. A 1 o'clock start. First 20,000 fans get this D-backs camo cap courtesy of Sanderson Ford. Get your tickets at dbacks.com. Diamondbacks have out-hit the Mets 5-4, but they trail at 3-1. Descalso has popped up single. He's 1 for 2. And this one is jumped on fair down the right field line. Rolling into the corner. Descalso has his 2nd hit tonight and his 10th double this year.
That might be the first curveball that DeGrom has thrown in this ball game, and Daniel Descalso hits it like he knows it's coming. Of course, it's right in the middle of the plate, belt high. Those are supposed to get hit hard. That's what we talk about sometimes with a pitcher leaving a pitch in his back pocket until the 2nd or 3rd time through the order. We haven't seen a curveball from DeGrom until that delivery to Descalso.
Well, the last 4 D-back hitters, single, double, strikeout, double. Here's Marte, who's 0 for 2. He jumps on the first pitch. Gonzalez has it. Descalso in at 3rd. Batter is Alex Avila. Avila has singled and struck out.
And Alex has been very aggressive in his first 2 at-bats, attacking early pitches. The first pitch in his first at-bat when he got the base hit.
Mets will put 3 infielders on the right side of the field. DeGrom has 12 strikeouts. His career high is 13. He's done it twice. There is action in the Met bullpen. Robert Gazelman, the right-hander. Avila 1 for 19 this year with runners in scoring position. He's got Descalso with third and one out. Chased a high fastball up and in. 13 strikeouts for DeGrom. That matches his career high.
A couple of fastballs up in the zone, including the first pitch right here. He takes it for a called strike. And a hard slider on that inside corner is fouled away. Goes right back to 96, elevated in the zone for strike three. Our nationwide vision eye on the game.
They'll need a 2-out hit from Gerard Dyson. He's grounded out in single. Godley's spot is due up next. There's no one in the on-deck circle. First pitch swinging, pops it up. Cabrera. DeGrom strands a leadoff double, a 6-pitch inning. D-backs trail at 3-1. And they trail this one 3-1 at Citi Field. Bring the whole family to a game with the D-backs Value Pack. A game ticket, a hot dog, and a Pepsi, all for only $25. Get your tickets at dbacks.com/value. Zach Godley's night ends here as Andrew Chafin is on to start the bottom of the 7th inning. His 22nd appearance of the year. Godley goes 6, gives up 3 runs on 4 hits. He walked 4, struck out 6.
Not one of his cleaner performances for Zach Godley. Really struggled with his command, especially his fastball command, but you ought to be able to give up 3 runs in a game and still have a chance to win. That has not been the case lately with the D-backs offense sputtering.
DeGrom has been sensational. 13 strikeouts. Brandon Nimmo leads it off for the Mets. He walked and scored in the first.
Yeah, for DeGrom, 21 outs recorded in this game. 19 of them would have to be called easy outs. Now, there's nothing easy about getting big league hitters out, but he's got 13 strikeouts, 3 infield pop-ups, and 3 broken bat grounders of his 21 outs. 19 of the 21 outs classified as easy outs.
Bounced over the mound. Descalso. He makes a lovely play to open up the bottom of the 7th over there at second base tonight with Jake Lamb back at third.
We had no time to spare. Nimmo just flying down that first baseline. Nice job by Daniel Descalso to scoop, take a couple steps to right himself, and then throw on to Goldie just in time for the out.
As Drupal Cabrera will flip over and bat right-handed against the lefty Chafin. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Batting average from the right side is an even 300. The thing that impresses you maybe the most about Jacob deGrom tonight, of those 13 strikeouts, 9 came against the first 4 batters for the D-backs: Peralta, Souza, Lamb, and Goldie. Zellman continues to throw in the New York bullpen. Godley spot set to lead off the top of the 8th for Arizona. 1-2 on Cabrera, and Chafin gets the strikeout.
Andrew Chafin showed Cabrera everything he had that time. Starts him with a fastball right there at 95. Misses away right there with a changeup, gets a foul ball on a slider, and then comes back with another slider to finish off Cabrera. Our nationwide vision eye on the game.
Base is empty. 2 down for Flores, who's had a good night. An RBI ground out, a walk. He doubled and scored his last time up.
Andrew throwing hard tonight. 95 to start this sequence.
There's always a point round about this time of year where Andrew, after maybe a skittish start here or there early in the year, just kind of locks it in for the rest of the summer. So maybe tonight's the night. That one just missed. Flores, for whatever reason, has not hit left-handers this year. He's under 170 versus lefties without a home run. Fastball right down the middle, and it's 1-2.
I didn't happen to take a look, partner, but Keith Hernandez stuck his head in our booth a few innings ago. I didn't notice if he had his shoes on or not.
Yeah, it's chilly here. He was wearing shoes. I checked in with Keith before the game to see if he brought his cat here, but he did not. Left the cat at home. The cat has become a Twitter sensation. 2-2.
He didn't let the cat out of the bag?
See, I see what you did there. Always fun to check in with great Keith Hernandez. Got a book coming out. He's been doing a book tour. Working Mets TV. Just to our left, there he is with Ron Darling and Gary Cohen.
Yeah, Keith Hernandez, I've said it many times, there's a lot of great defensive first basemen in the game, but I think he's right at the top of my list. He can make plays at first base that you just didn't expect a first baseman to make.
Dyson coming in from center. Good appearance for Andrew Chafin, a 1-2-3-7. D-backs trail the Mets 3-1. Back at Citi Field in New York, Nick Ahmed will hit for Andrew Chafin as we lead off the 8th inning against the new Mets pitcher. It's the right-hander Robert Gsellman, who has been a workhorse out of the bullpen. His 20th appearance this year. He's tied for the major league lead among relievers with 4 wins, and he's tied for 3rd most in the majors with those 26 2/3 innings pitched.
Averaging nearly a strikeout per inning, has given up 3 home runs in his 19 appearances coming into tonight.
DeGrom went 7, gave up 1 run, 6 hits, did not walk a batter, and matched his career high with 13 strikeouts. A whole lot of K's up there for Jacob DeGrom, who appears to have bounced back nicely from that elbow problem. So here's Nick to lead off the 8th, 213 and 6 home runs. He had a triple in Wednesday's game against the Brewers in Phoenix. Nick is from East Longmeadow, Massachusetts, the western part of the state. Played his college ball at UConn, so he's a Northeast guy. Had some friends here down on the field before the game today. He's used to playing in this cold weather. It's cool here tonight. Chilly all day in Manhattan.
I would imagine when Nick was playing at UConn, if it ever got this nice, they played double headers, maybe a triple header.
They play in Bill Veeck shorts. Out there in the cow pastures of Storrs, Connecticut. 1-2. They're bundled up. We're just glad it didn't rain. The forecast for this weekend all week long has been just miserable. Good chance of rain here tomorrow. Popped up. Mesoraco looking up there. It's in that wind. 1 out in the 8th.
Surround that one. And a perfect circle pattern that time. Out into the infield, up the first baseline, back into foul territory, and ultimately makes the catch.
Do the hokey pokey. Peralta 0 for 3, struck out twice against DeGrom. Right at the shortstop, Rosario. To
2 outs. No word as of yet on what's wrong, if anything, with Steven Souza Jr. Tried to make a sliding catch and foul ground in the right field corner and hit the wall a little bit hard and was limping around the bases when he scored on Lamb's double, replaced by Chris Owings out there in the 6th inning. And so here's CO's first at bat tonight, 202 on the year. Chris trying to get it going. He's stuck in a 2 for 25 right now. Rosario's got it. Bottom 8 on the way from Citi Field with the D-backs trailing 3-1. The Mets 3-1. Big night for Jacob deGrom, who tied a career high with 13 strikeouts. Michael Conforto 3 for 3. He's knocked in 2. Steven Souza Jr. had to leave the game in the 6th inning. This was the play on which he tried to make a sliding grab and foul ground. The ball hit by Flores. Got up awkwardly there, and then this is Souza after he singled, scoring on Lamb's double. Bob, you don't really see anything here that would indicate any kind of injury.
Yeah, nothing obvious anyway. I mean, maybe Steven Souza, as we talk about, just gritting his teeth and playing through the pain, but didn't see any sign of a limp there around the bases. He scores the run, goes back and gets some high fives from his teammates. Didn't really see anything unusual.
That was in the top of the 6th inning, and Chris Owings went out there in the bottom of the 6th to take over in right field. So here's Jay Bruce to lead off the 8th against Fernando Salas, the former Met back in New York. There's a strike 0-1. 20th appearance of the year for Salas. Bruce has struck out twice and walked tonight. He's 0 for 2. D-backs have the shift on. With Lamb, the third baseman, way out there in short right field. Away from the shift, shallow left center. Marte way out there. Backing up, he gets under it. 1 out in the 8th.
Fernando Salas was with the Mets last year, made 48 appearances out of their bullpen. Pitched here part of the 2016 season as well. The closer Familia starts to get loose. D-backs will have Lamb, Goldie, Descalso do up 3, 4, and 5 in the 9th inning. Here's Conforto, who's singled 3 times. He's knocked in 2 runs. They'll keep the shift on. Lamb now the only defender on the left side of the infield. That skips over the mound. Tough play for Marte. And Conforto's aboard.
Because of the shift, Marte is going to his backhand instead of going to his forehand from a regular shortstop position. Tries to make that quick exchange, running to his right, and just loses a handle on the baseball. That'll be the 4th hit of the game for Michael Conforto.
4 for 4, all singles. Gonzalez 0 for 3.
The Mets have 5 hits in the game. Conforto has 4 of them.
The other was the Flores double in the 5th. Came home on a Conforto RBI knock. No one on the left side of the infield for the D-backs. And Gonzalez bunts it over there. There's nobody home. Well, now, BB, you can retire. You've seen Adrian Gonzalez beat out a bunt single.
Beat out a bunt single. That's the way I'm going to put it, too. Yeah, man in scoring position, I don't think you'd see Adrian Gonzalez attempt to bunt for a base hit. But as you said, the entire left side of the infield was wide open. It didn't even have to be a good bunt to turn into a base hit.
So the infield will come in now for Mesoraco, who has walked and flied out twice. We'll use a mound visit here. Infield backs off. Conforto at second and Gonzalez at first.
I haven't seen a mound visit sign anywhere here at this ballpark, unless I'm missing it.
Well, there's a lot of signage here. You can sort of get lost. It's kind of a needle in a haystack deal.
Oh, I see it. I see it up by the out-of-town scoreboard, way up at the top. On the far left of the out-of-town scoreboard, above the left field bleachers, they have it right there. Mound visits.
Gets bigger as the shot gets tighter. 0-2 on the Mets catcher. Sky to left, Peralta just shy of the warning track. 2 outs. And now the pitcher spot, which is 8th in the Met order. We'll see Jose Reyes. 143 and a home run. He's up there with 2 on and 2 out.
A 4-man bench for Mickey Callaway and the Mets carrying the extra pitcher, and you take into consideration that the backup catcher is one of those 4 guys available off the bench. So Reyes, one of 3 available pinch hitters.
1 for 12 as a pinch hitter off the bench for New York. Reyes now in his 16th season in the big leagues. Jose Reyes has only one base hit at Citi Field all year. He's 1 for 21 at home. Playing time has been sporadic at best. Now at the age of 34, he'll be 35 next month. Foul on the way, and it's 1-2.
You mentioned those numbers at home for Reyes. You'd much prefer those be flipped. If you're 1 for 21 on the road, you might get some applause from the opposing crowd. But when you're 1 for 21 at Citi Field in New York in front of these fans, that's not a good thing.
Odd for Reyes, who won a batting title here. 9 seasons with the Mets during his first go-around in New York. He was an all-star 4 times. Replaced at shortstop now by young Ahmed Rosario, who's on deck. Full count, 3-2. 2 on and 2 out. Runners on the move. Fastball just missed away, and the bases are loaded for Rosario. Salas trying to keep it a 2-run ball game. Conforto's at third, Gonzalez at second, and Reyes at first.
Big at bat in the ball game right here. Diamondbacks still within striking distance, trailing by only 2 runs here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Big at bat coming up for Rosario. Well, everybody wants to make sure they're on the same page right here.
Well, Rosario has started picking up his offensive pace as of late. He's hitting better than .340 in his last 10 games. And this season is hitting nearly .320 with runners in scoring position. He's up there with the bases full and 2 down. Salas keeps leaving that changeup up. Popped up first base side. Descalso ranging out to right field. And that one drops in. Home. Conforto and Gonzalez cross. Everybody on the move with 2 outs. And Descalso trying to make a case with Jerry Lane, the crew chief, at first, and Greg Gibson. And now Gibson is calling everybody over.
Well, ball's in the glove right there. He just doesn't make the exchange cleanly. I think that's a catch.
Well, according to the transfer rule, you can drop the ball while trying to get it into your throwing hand, and it is a completed catch. They clarified that ruling for the umpires a couple of years ago.
I like the fact that Greg Gibson, the second base umpire, immediately came over to Jerry Lane and perhaps said, I think I saw it a little differently than you did. And when that happens, the umpire crew gets together. Everybody sees what they saw and says what they saw. And we'll get a decision here. He's out. There you go.
So Salas does indeed leave the bases loaded. Well, hold on. Mickey Callaway comes out of the dugout now. The umpires are telling the D-backs to stay on the field.
And now Mickey Callaway, with nothing to lose, he wants to challenge that play.
Well, catch or no catch is reviewable. If it's in the outfield, you can challenge that.
Well, he's in the outfield grass. He's got the ball in his glove and clearly trying to make the exchange right there when it comes loose. I mean, he backpedals 3 steps before that ball comes out of his glove.
Rules Committee in recent years did clarify the instructions on this, and he is indeed out. So we head to the 9th inning. Jake Lamb, Paul Goldschmidt, and Daniel Descalso, 3, 4, and 5. Lamb, who's got an RBI double, leads off the 9th in his first game back. Jake Lamb will lead it off for the Diamondbacks. He had an RBI double in the 6th inning to drive in the D-backs' only run so far. It's our Chaz Roberts air conditioning and plumbing cool play of the game. That scored Steven Souza Jr. all the way from first. Souza had to come out of the ball game after that. Lamb was thrown out trying to stretch it into 3. New pitcher for the Mets, the closer, Jeurys Familia. 11 saves and 14 chances this year. He'll face Lamb. Goldie Descalso, 3, 4, and 5 for the D-backs' 9th. Mets overload the right-hand side of the infield. There's a strike. Back with you from Citi Field tomorrow. D-backs live pregame show at 3:30 on Fox Sports Arizona. A couple of left-handers, Patrick Corbin and Steven Matz. Clay Buchholz will pitch here on Sunday against Noah Syndergaard.
ninth.
One of the last things to come when you're a player coming back off the disabled list is your strike zone judgment. Breaking balls that are around the edges, fastballs that are around the edges with some movement. It takes a little while to narrow your strike zone down. Once again, that time Jake chased a bad breaking ball up out of the zone.
Goldie struck out all 3 times he faced Jacob deGrom. Starts him off with that slider, 0-1. .96 down and in. Familia had no balls and 2 strikes. Descalso on deck. Took him off the fastball. Went to the slider. Goldie strikes out for the 4th time tonight. 2 down.
Hey, I know as well as anybody that the only way to get out of a slump is to hit your way out of it, but you have to wonder if Goldie doesn't need a little bit of a blow. Coming off an off day yesterday, but swinging at the same bad pitches out of the zone, swinging through the fastballs in the zone.
Descalso again has been leading the offensive charge. A single and a double. He's 2 for 3. 2 down in the 9th. For Goldie, just his 7th career 4 strikeout game and his first this season.
A bit of a quick pitch there from Familia. Barely came to a set position and then unloaded to home plate. Of course, with nobody on base, you can do that. You can't balk with nobody on base.
1-2. Del Marte hoping to get a chance. Descalso strikes out. Familia K's the side, and the D-backs drop the opener here 3-1.
Unfortunately, more of the same from the Diamondbacks offense. Just really got nothing going at any point in this ball game against this Mets pitching staff.
Jacob deGrom wins it. He's 4-0. Godley the loser, 4-3. Familia his 12th save. Back with more from Citi Field in just a moment.